speak about addiction and then later on in life becoming disabled because the addiction, the drugs I was doing probably had really nasty stuff inside them, and it finally poisoned things inside me, and I developed problems. But not to feel sorry. I don't really want to talk about it because I don't want anyone to feel like bad or sorry or something too bad. Like my friend said, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that," but it's okay. I hadn't talked to him in a long time, you know. It's no, I'm not 35 years ago. I'm now, and I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with. But I'm not gonna cry about it because I brought it all on myself. Every damn thing. I had plenty of opportunities. When I was young, my dad passed away when I was 10 years old, right after my 10th birthday, and then my grandparents were local. I didn't know my dad's parents. My mom's parents were local in Northern Virginia. And then my grandmother passed away about 9 months later, and then my grandfather about 18 months after my dad. So it was tough, I admit, not being around those people. But later on, with my older sisters and my mom ran photography business, my dad's business then, and we had people stay at our house, boarders and different people. And my dad had left us one hellacious house on the lake. I mean, but I kind of resented it because I thought that paying the mortgage on it helped kill him because he had to work so hard on it. So early on, I kind of got the idea that, you know, people were working to be able to live where they thought they should live or where they could make an impression in some way. And if they, the longer hours they worked, the more time they put in for their jobs, you know, the benefit would be a house that you have to take 30 years to pay off. So something just didn't seem right about that to me. And so, you know, at the time, being 14, 15, 16, the Vietnam War was going on, and we thought we could help stop it by doing drugs in Virginia. You know? Yeah, yeah. Well, it's true, partly. People from the Students for the Democratic Society, SDS, they came over to Virginia to where I'm Washington, Colorado, where my sister was going to school. And they were part of the March on Washington, 1969, a big, huge march, and against the war. And one of those guys did offer me some weed, but my sister took it. She didn't, I was too young at 13. But by the spring, I was smoking it pretty regularly and playing baseball like normal kids. However, my point is that the Vietnam War was going on, which was a war I didn't like even at that young age, and a lot of them didn't buy into that domino theory that, you know, if the communists get Vietnam, then they get Thailand, then they get whatever else is in that region, you know, Taiwan, and on and on and on until they get Alaska. Well, you know, the communists owned Alaska, and we bought it from them. They weren't communists then, but nonetheless, it's. I'm not saying living under communism is something I would like. I don't think so. If it was really ideal, if it was true, socialism and communism would be, I think, a fine way to live. I think it would beat the hell out of capitalism. But this isn't the kind of a channel. I don't want to get into that stuff. I'm just saying that it would be more equal rights in that way, equal equality for people. There is no reason on earth for some people to have the unbelievable wealth they have, and for us to have a homeless situation in this country, for instance, because the wealth that they have derives from making money mostly off the interest of what they have. That if they're factory owners or business owners that come from the workers, the slaving way. But anyway, so I thought my dad did that. He wanted all the nice things my sister said, my older sister said. He wanted the car, the pretty woman, the house, and all that stuff. But it just seemed like, because he came up hard. He came up in New York. He was helping his dad with a laundry business, and watched his dad get killed by the Jewish mafia. Killed him, ran him over on the sidewalk when my dad was 15 in New York City, and then my dad had to help his family to survive. You know, and then the war came along. But, you know, that's when he met my mom. He got deafened. He got deaf partly because he was a photographer. In fact, he took Frank Sinatra's first wedding pictures with his partner, Italian partner. My mom was Presbyterian. My dad was Jewish, Ukrainian Jewish, and they met at Army Hospital in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, around 1940s, early 40s, because Dad had he'd gotten the shells he was taking reconnaissance pictures of cannons and things, and they were too close. So he developed bad hearing problems. But anyway, he had a car, and he drove down from Colorado to Oklahoma, and got in this hospital and got friendly with my mom, who was considered an officer. She was a speech therapist, and technically she wasn't allowed to go out with enlisted men. He was a private, and I said, well, why did you go out with him, Mom? And she said, well, he had a car, and he could jitterbug. So pretty good reasons to go out with somebody. And anyway, though, in my opinion, he was slaved away after those years, having his family and getting these nice houses and stuff that we lived in. So I had every opportunity but to go forward in life and not be in the trouble that I'm dealing with now, with my physical disabilities walking, which I can definitely help improve on with doing more rehab and trying to just in general be healthier, stop vaping completely, things like that. But I don't drink. I don't do any more drugs except for what they have me on, the Subutex. And then I have to take a whole boatload of medicine. I'm supposed to every day. From anti-stroke medicine, the heart stuff. I have AFib. That's a irregular heartbeat. So I have like an encyclopedia full of medical issues. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this channel was because I feel very fortunate to have made 67 at the end of December, and I don't know, who knows how long anybody has. We don't know. I found that out again with Rainbow last week. Playing 1 second, buried 15 minutes later. But the thing is that nobody knows. But I do know that I had learned some stuff over the years, and finally I thought, well, if people think I'm good, fine. If they think I'm bad, fine. I just don't give a damn. I'm just going to be who I am. And I was around these guys, and I wrote some stuff about it. And hopefully, maybe we can get it published someday. I play with these people for real, and it's over now. There is no more times like that. I mean, we drove around without cell phones, if we broke down, we broke down. Probably didn't have AAA most of the time. I mean, we took chances that people don't have to take now. And, but that's cool. I think I want people that were alive then, and hopefully, most of you guys don't ever have to deal with some of that stuff. But at the same time, it's really important if you get the chance to have a chance to play with people that are, there won't be another R.L. Burnside or Muddy Waters, whatever. But that doesn't mean there won't be blues, because that'll go on to eternity. It just shapes us differently. Things are just different now, and roots music is more, maybe people can hear it more because it's more on the internet. You can find it easy and things like that. But it's still being played in little hollers too, in West Virginia and Kentucky and Virginia, and old time music, and blues is still being played on somebody's front porch in Mississippi, probably as I speak. So that stuff will never go away. It's just certain elements of people like that go out and tour, like RL and I did, and RL making a choice to leave his home in Mississippi to go on the road to earn a living, and because, like I said, we didn't have I knew times changed when I saw him with a cell phone. Put it that way. A few years before he passed away, and when I wasn't working with him anymore, and I thought, well, this is sure different because we'd have to find a phone somewhere for him to call his wife or whatever, and you know, wasn't that way anymore. Or stop somewhere for whiskey, or he quit drinking by then too. Yeah, it was a different world even by the time RL passed away. But anyway, I just want to say that people out there, if there's anybody out there that's listening to this that has any physical disabilities or mental disabilities, which I'm sure, yes, equal share of both, and or addictive personalities, like I guess I got the trifecta. Let's see, mental disabilities, physical disabilities, and addictive personality. Well, if I could only make money on that like a horse race, wouldn't that be something? Anyway, you can get past it, because when one day we won't you won't be here anymore. Just a fact. So the sky is blue right now, even when it's dark and gray. If you wake up in the morning and you're able to look out that window, and maybe there's a blizzard, or maybe it's just one hellaciously beautiful spring day, and little birdies are chirping away, there's baby lambs and goats in the field, chickens are scratching at your door, a bobcat screams and wants to kill something, whatever is out there, it's real and appreciate it. And if you get disabled or something happens and you can't walk so well anymore, one thing I found out, and as sometimes I'm not so people person, but since this happened, so many people, if I've been in a parking lot and had to walk in or waiting for Rosalia to come around, have asked if I'm all right. Do you need anything or whatever? And I just think that's amazing. So there's real hope for us, for all of us, in this crazy, mixed up world. Humanity is better than so many of us think it is. I mean, we're all right in so many ways. Other ways we have deep problems, but it'll iron itself out. We'll work this thing out. Whatever was going on is crazy. And the same thing can be applied to an individual like you or I. We can slide through it. We'll make it work. Okay. Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon. I hope you all have a fine day. Thank you.